We've been taking a look at the year's biggest business stories with Scott this morning. He's back now with what you know what? There you are wearing a smart, dapper bow tie. Yeah. See, now you look stylish. Yeah. I just ratted you out saying that I wanted to call 911 about the tie you were wearing because it was...
And now what?
A horror show. And now you look good. And so now people don't even know what I'm talking about.
This is the first time I ever wore a bow tie, but I wanted to get away from you hacking on my other green and red one.
It's a little much after a while.
A little much, but yeah, you want to do this thing? We're going to do a top 5 looking forward as far as economic surprises potentially coming down the pipe for us, particularly here in Canada. Starting with the regional growth shift in Canada, going from the lower price of oil, of course, so that's Alberta's pain is going to be East and manufacturing gain with cheap oil helping Ontario and Quebec in particular. This is according to Doug Porter at Bank of Montreal, and that with the U.S. Market growing stronger, Ontario could be outpacing the entire country. That would be the first time that happened since 2002. Also, we're expecting the U.S. jobless rate to potentially drop below 5%. This is a far cry from a 10% spike in unemployment rate in the U.S. And at 5%, it's lower than Germany. Cheap oil potentially helping the U.S. economy even more, with the result being the U.S. dollar could be the strongest of all world currencies, with the Canadian loonie dropping this year 8%. It could go further, and we could see more weakness with the Bank of Canada mentioning that it does like weaker loonie for cheap exports. Also, with all this in the mix, the U.S. could be the first to raise their interest rates. Bank of Montreal expecting them to raise it 1/4 point 2 times after the second half of 2015. Someone has always got to ruin the party. So those are the top 4 so far.
You never ruin the party. So aside from top tartan bow tie trend, what will be the biggest business trend of 2015?
That the U.S. economy could potentially be the fastest growing major economy in the world, with its best growth expected in 10 years. Bank of Montreal again expecting it to be in the neighborhood of 3%, outpacing maybe Canada's growth at 2%. And at that gap, that could be the widest spread in 20 years. And that's good for Canada. We export a lot of our stuff down to the U.S.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, man.